Good morning. Good morning, PT on Ice Daily Show. Happy Monday. My name is Dr. Alexis Morgan. I am one of two lead faculty with the Fitness Athlete Pregnancy and Postpartum. I am really excited to be here this morning to talk with you all a little bit on gratitude and on practicing gratitude and what that means, not only for us, but also for our clients. So, diving right in here, what is gratitude? As a kid, I always remember hearing teachers and parents saying, gratitude is an attitude, and being grateful and being thankful. And usually this is a conversation in about November around Thanksgiving time, right? Where we're showing appreciation, we're being thankful. And that is what gratitude is. It's demonstrating that we are thankful for something. And it can be practiced as a daily or a very regular practice in our lives, not just around the holidays, but during all times. So, what practicing gratitude can do for us is really there's a lot of questions, and we're just kind of beginning to see some of these answers as far as how practicing gratitude can actually impact our health. And so we're seeing some of this literature come out, and I know that we are going to continue to see it, and this is just kind of a snowball that is just starting. But what we've seen is that by practicing gratitude, we can increase our feelings of happiness. So oftentimes we think about, like if we're just in a bad mood or our clients are in a bad mood, and it's like, I'm just not feeling grateful right now. I'm not going to even do that. I'm not going to practice that because I'm not feeling grateful right now. Well, it actually kind of can work in the reverse, in that when we practice, when we force ourselves to answer, what am I grateful for today? Then that can start to improve those feelings of happiness. We've all had those clients, right, who come in and they're hurting. They do not want to be in our space, because being in our space oftentimes means that they're not doing the things that they love. They're not feeling well. And they bring with them into that session just feelings of sadness or grief and loss. And oftentimes we as the practitioners, sometimes we can take that on ourselves, and it can really weigh us down, and it can really be tough. And that's where being a clinician in this space is really challenging. Adding a practice of gratitude personally can really help to improve our own sense of well-being and our own sense of happiness, and kind of differentiate ourselves from our clients, but also adding that into our clients' lives and getting them to practice that gratitude. I was really inspired last week hearing Mitch talk about this in his PT on Ice, talking about, hey, come on in, setting the tone for that visit. Tell me a couple of things that have been going well before we start to dive into all of the things that aren't going well, right? Practicing gratitude increases our feelings of happiness. It also promotes pro-social connection. It promotes relationship building, right? By practicing gratitude, by expressing my thankfulness to you for being here this morning and listening, it binds us together. It connects us. I'm so grateful that you're here to listen. And I would love to hear your comments back. Let's have a discussion, right? It it promotes this relationship between us. Thank you so much for thinking of me and for bringing me this gift. That was so thoughtful of you, and I'm so grateful for our relationship. Adding those in can really engage that relationship, and it can improve. So we can, again, teach our clients how to do this and improve their lives outside of the clinic. And we can also do that with our clients in each session to build that trust with them and to really build that connection to help them have a more meaningful experience through their therapy. There's some research that is beginning to emerge. We don't have like all of the answers yet, but on practicing gratitude actually improving physical outcomes. So there are some studies that are looking at it actually improving sleep, improving hypertension, actually decreasing blood pressure by practicing gratitude, improving blood glucose even. This is going to be some exciting research coming out, but when we're thinking about not just changing back pain or not just helping a pregnant athlete through this experience and into postpartum, when we're thinking about affecting lives and improving the human experience, this is where these conversations can come into. This is where we begin to help this human be a more resilient human being out in the world. And that's where this job continues to get really, really fulfilling. And that's why we talk about stress management, right? In every ICE course that you take, we're going to be talking about managing stress. And we all know why, right? Everybody is full of so much stress in our lives. And we're not so great at coping with it, at managing. I see a lot of young female athletes, and these conversations are really fun to get into as far as coping with stress, not just avoiding it, not just eliminating it from our lives, but actually managing, improving our sleep. All of these things to, again, create a more resilient human being. And that's in our clients. And again, that's also in ourselves. So we've actually started at Onward asking people, what do you do to manage your stress? It is pretty surprising how many people kind of, gosh, good question. I don't know. How many people kind of squirm in their seats to try to figure out their answer to this question. And so we started kind of tracking this, and a lot of people just don't know what to do to manage their stress. And this is where we can come in and help them recognize there are so many things that they can do. And by managing their stress, they are going to have better outcomes. One of these practices is practicing gratitude. They're so often interested in learning about this, but just don't know how to start. So we can really be that resource for them. So to the title of the podcast today, what if we started prescribing practicing gratitude as their home exercise program, as one of their exercises that they do for you to become a more resilient, less painful human being, to get through this experience. This is extremely important when we're talking about pregnant and postpartum athletes. During this phase of an individual's life, there's a surge of hormones. And because of that surge of hormones and that massive change, we see oftentimes an increased risk of anxiety and depression. That's true in both pregnancy and postpartum. So by teaching them how to practice gratitude and encouraging them to do this on a daily basis, there have been studies that are showing that doing these things, practicing gratitude, being more mindful, we can actually improve the mental state of a postpartum individual. And through that, we are equipping them with a much more resilient mind going into this next phase of their lives. It's so rewarding too to think about, what if this new mom who's going through a lot of hard stuff right now, who goes through this practice of just writing one thing in her journal that she's grateful for today. What if she carries that on and with her little one begins to do that? And from an early stage, this little one is learning the practice of gratitude and can take that on throughout their whole entire lives. It's really, really cool to think about the influence we can have on not only our clients, but our clients' kids, their families, and their entire well-being. So again, we're talking about not just helping them through this one little plan of care. We're zooming out and we're really thinking about how can we improve their human experience? How can we improve the life of the individual right in front of us? And oftentimes that starts on the inside with ourselves. So practicing gratitude ourselves. So I want to take just a few minutes in my last few here to talk about how exactly do we practice gratitude and what does that look like, so that if that's not something in your repertoire, you can begin to practice as well and to see and feel those benefits, so that as you're talking to your patients, your clients, you can know and feel and have experienced that and bring that to the table when you're asking your clients to do the same. So really there's 3 ways that we can practice gratitude. Number 1, I already mentioned it. We can use a gratitude journal. Putting a journal by your bed and just writing down things that you are grateful for. Whether that's 3 things today or even just one simple one. By writing that down, we are expressing our thankfulness, we are expressing our gratitude, and we are shining the light on the positive that occurred today. Whether you're doing this in the evening as you're reflecting on your entire day or doing it first thing in the morning. This is something that can be really beneficial too, as when we're going through a tough time, we can look through that journal and see all of the things that we've been grateful for all through different aspects of the year, of the month, of the week. And reading through that can inspire us and it can improve our own sense of well-being, even when we may not be feeling very grateful. So I love the gratitude journal really for that ability to look back. So that's the first way that we can practice gratitude. The second way is expressing our gratitude aloud to or with other individuals. So we've been doing this in the evenings, sitting around dinner and talking about 3 things that we're grateful for today and expressing those aloud with another individual. Again, it promotes that bonding, and we're able just to take a moment to look at just the small things in life that really bring us joy. So the second way, by expressing it aloud. And then the third way is in our spiritual practices. And that may look like a gratitude journal or expressing it aloud. That may look like very different practices for different individuals. But encouraging your clients to whatever spiritual practice they may have, add this in, thankfulness to God or thankfulness to the universe or wherever they may lie on that spectrum. Practicing gratitude fits into every single aspect of that spirituality. And again, that improves our overall well-being. So when we're practicing gratitude, be it writing it in a journal, expressing it to others, or in our spiritual practices, what we want to do is be very specific. So rather than just saying, "Oh, I'm grateful for my dogs," what we can say is a very specific, "I am so grateful for the way that my dogs jump and bark and are so excited whenever I walk through the door, and how they greet me with licks and jumps and their entire being around us coming through the door," right? A lot of specifics. I can see that moment happening. You can feel how joyful I feel just kind of reliving that. Adding those specifics are what really help to solidify those feelings of gratitude. Another example, I'm so grateful for all of these women who have just recently had babies and are leading the way in the CrossFit Games. There's so many moms in the CrossFit Games, and we're starting to see this shift in this postpartum athletics, and it's really exciting for our female athletes to see this improvement and this pushing forward. And I'm so grateful for that personally and for all of my clients. It's not perfect practicing gratitude. That sentence didn't fully make sense, but we're practicing that gratefulness, and we're recognizing the small things or sometimes the big things, and we're putting that into action. We're talking about it, we're writing it down, we're expressing that in our spiritual practices. And that is what improves our well-being. That is what improves our physical abilities. And that is what is creating more resilience in the human mind, away from the struggles of the world, not ignoring it, but just recognizing the good things that are occurring. So I hope that this is helpful to you all this morning. I hope that you can use this in your own practice, as well as beginning to implement this into your clients' lives. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to talk with you all about it. If you've been practicing, if you've been using this in your practice with your clients, I would love to hear about it. So with that, I'm going to sign off of here, but before I do, just wanted to remind you, if you are interested in joining our clinical management of the fitness athlete, pregnancy and postpartum, you can hop online for our next 8-week cohort, which begins September 6th, and we would love to have you. All right, y'all, happy Monday. I am grateful for you all being here with me this morning, and have a wonderful day and a wonderful week.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review, and be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.